Hello, everybody, and welcome to Maximum Libertarian. I'm Brian.
I'm Dean. I'm back.
And if you will, if this is your first time looking at this channel, please click that subscribe button. Help us out. Hit the notification bell, and then what?
Of course, I don't have my handy dandy gavel today, but smash that like button. I mean,
And
smack the
share it.
hard.
And share it too after you get done smacking it.
Yeah, share it all over with your friends. We want to see it.
Right. So today's topic, we've got war is brewing in Russia, and there's no one to report about it. And the reason that I brought this thing up and I wanted to talk about it was because I got an email from our local newspaper, the Roanoke Times, and it said in the email you get a 1-year digital subscription to the newspaper for $30. And honestly, that's a great deal. But the problem is, the Roanoke Times is one of the many newspapers that have been bought out by a larger corporation. And in turn, you've got numerous corporations consolidating all the papers, and then they make all their websites look identical.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There's nothing
Roanoke's owned by a Richmond newspaper. So
no, it's not. Right. No, it's not. It's not even in Richmond. It's, I believe it's over in Kentucky.
That's even worse.
It's either Kentucky, and they own like 35 different newspapers throughout the United States of America.
So what what happens there? We get the same BS political views from these locations. If there's more democratic or socialism or whatever you want to call it views from that news area, you're going to see that kind of a story. See, and here's the other thing: they can twist it. If you have a conservative area where that newspaper is, they can have conservative sides to the stories. And this has happened with the USA Today, believe it or not, where one headline will say one thing, one headline will say another thing, depending on where you live.
Right. Now, usually when I see things like that, it's usually the country. Like the Time magazine in the United States has Kardashians on there, where over in foreign countries, it's got an actual issue that will affect your life.
Oh, absolutely.
But let's go over here. Let's pull up this share real quick. And but no, the one thing that happened was with our paper, we had, there it is. This comes from the UNC, and it's newsdeserts.com, and talks about vanishing newspapers. Right here, all of these, everything that we're going to talk about will be on our Twitter feed. So if you subscribe to our Twitter, you can see every story that we speak about.
And I'll say that right now so people can subscribe. We are Max Lib. It's at the bottom, scrolling across the bottom. Please go there.
That's correct. So I just highlighted the one little area here. And it says since 2004, the United States has lost 1/4, 2,100 of its newspaper. That includes 70 dailies and more than 2,000 weeklies or non-dailies. At the end of 2019, the United States had 6,700 newspaper, down from almost 9,000 in 2004. Today, there's more than 200 of the nation's 3,143 counties and equivalents that have no newspaper and no alternative source of credible and comprehensive information on critical issues. Half the counties have only one newspaper, and 2/3 do not have a daily newspaper. Many communities have lost newspapers were the most vulnerable, struggling economically and isolated.
Well, newspapers are going away. I mean, the more we get this internet-based stuff, the more you're going to see that.
I highly agree with you, but I've wanted to subscribe to.
You ever see how much it costs for a Roanoke Times?
No, I understand that.
Holy crap!
But once again, here you got a $30 deal for digital, and since most people don't hold a physical copy, even though I personally would prefer a physical copy, $30 compared to what they want for the physical copy per month is a completely different ballgame. Now, that being said, when I called down there and I said, hey, why isn't our candidate being listed in your newspaper? Their answer was, we get all the information from the AP, and we only have a couple people who take care of local issues. So in turn, if it's national news, it's all AP. Anything local, they have one or two reporters. And look, even that, it slides between the rocks because Caesar had qualified for city council to get on the ballot for city council run, and he was told, and they didn't even have him listed. They didn't give him a story until he got COVID, which luckily and thankfully his COVID was only, I think he lost his taste of smell for a day or two.
A very common thing, actually. People that have it more severe have it for a lot longer. They'll use the spell thing for a lot longer. It's ridiculous. And you're right. He wasn't covered well, and I was covered, but I mean,
well, you can't.
I'm
say
covered better. I'm covered better by the local newspapers. Quite frankly, people like the Vinton Messenger and the Fincastle Herald have really highlighted the Libertarian Party, not just me, when they've written the story, and it's an amazing thing to see. And people around here read the newspaper, believe it or not. It's something that those papers have a lot of people that get them. So it's a good thing. But the Roanoke Times, thank you for doing an article, but it's not like it was, when we discussed the article, it's nothing like we discussed. Like,
and individual newspapers rarely are covering. I mean, we've gotten lucky, and yes, the local newspaper or them town papers have reported on your campaign, absolutely. But them same small town newspapers did not reach out to Caesar. Maybe they're not wanting to reach out to Caesar. Maybe they don't want to reach out to any politics. They just want to have the farm and.
That's not true, because they love reaching out to the Democrats and Republicans.
I don't want to say that they do, because I mean, besides the Roanoke Town, we have like the Roanoke Star. We have.
I don't know that. I can't remember those papers.
But I mean, it's no different than the Vinton Messenger or the Salem Times. I mean, they're all tied together.
They should have reached out to them, and the failure is with the political mindset. It's like when I had the discussion with one of the people that collected signatures for me, and he's like, the political, and he's not highly political. Okay, he's not actually highly political at all. He is like, it's amazing how much the politics of this country are messing with people, messing how people act towards each other. It's ridiculous. There's people that won't sign a petition because they're one side or the other, and they're far on those sides. They're either a Trumper or they're a socialist, and they don't want a third option there.
Look,
some people think, hey, give everybody a chance. How fair is it right now? We're going with newspapers, but how fair is it right now that the Democrats are getting a free ride to have electronic signatures to get on the ballot?
I'll debate you on that one. One, I don't think it's fair. I don't like the idea of electronic signatures.
I agree with that. Get rid of it.
And I get it. We've got a COVID issue going on, but you know exactly why that the LP's not on there.
Oh, yeah.
Able to join it. So in turn, before I would start throwing up my hands, we got to really worry about we need to get our own house in order.
But here's my thought process on that was, it's not that let's get on there. How is it so easy for the Democrats to get this option? That should not be an option for them.
Well, maybe now that's a whole other debate. But at the same time, we're looking.
If that's going to be an option for them, it should be an option for everybody: Republican, Democrat, Green Party, anybody, Libertarian.
Right. I mean,
that's allowing them to get into contests such as mine that are not winnable for Democrats. Never will be.
Well, I wouldn't say it's never going to be never.
Not in this district.
Huh? Yeah.
Not in this.
Yes. So every district. Look, Roanoke City is a blue city.
I'd love to see a Republican win there.
Let me tell you, fuck Republicans. No, I shouldn't have said that, but be it here. Roanoke City is a blue city. The reason that no other party gets in there, it's not, now granted, I know it's money. You've got to activate those that don't come out and vote. That's number one, because you're not going to get to those that come out and vote. Number two, you've got to get over the battered wife syndrome. too often there's a lot of Republicans, there's a lot of Libertarians, there's a lot of conservatives, there's a lot of, pretty much people like myself who my style of libertarianism, not the, let's just shut government down, but be it here or there. I don't care. I love them libertarians too, but that being said, you got battered wife syndrome. You get told that you can't win. No one comes out. When Donald Trump told everybody in Georgia, first he tells everybody, don't come out. It's because of hey, you should vote. You need $2,000. That gave Biden and the Democrats an easy layup to saying, you vote us into office, you're going to get your $2,000. Number two, he tells everybody the election's rigged, it's a fraud. So why am I going to go out there and vote if it's elected election fraud?
Yeah, but wouldn't you say that right now what the Department of Elections is allowing the Democrats to do by themselves, not letting any other party do it, is fraud?
I don't know. Well, did the Republicans want to do it? No, they wanted to do a convention.
Yeah, but any independent candidate should be on the same level. It's fraudulent. It's wrong, and it's just not.
I mean, you could probably say that. I would probably say that if anyone wanting to run for that office should be able to get, probably. But at the same time,
I'd rather it be straight. Even on both sides.
I personally don't like electronic signatures. I think people should be able. I don't want any type of fraud. I want integrity in my elections.
Exactly. They don't have to get a. They don't have to get a stamp. It could be so fraudulent. They can go into a church and find the names of 50 people, fraudulently sign it and send it in. And that's.
But I do think with the electronic signatures, one thing that you've got to do, you must provide the last 4 digits of your Social Security.
Yeah,
that's one thing. And so in turn, if I'm not willing to give my last 4 digits over to anybody, then they can write my name down all day long, and then they're guessing my thing.
You could have a corrupt church or somebody corrupt in that church that has access to that information. Do it.
I've never been to a church where they collected.
I'm not just saying a church. I can say a business. I can say anything. I'm just saying somebody could be corrupt, have that information, and
I'm not saying that it's not possible, but once again, any way. I will gladly look at anything. If electronic signatures work, I just need to make sure that the integrity, what we had happen this past November or last year, we had this phony thing come up where everybody rushed around like chickens with their heads cut off. They started passing bills. They did not properly think about it. They just, let's just do it this way. So now people are getting absentee ballots that didn't request one. This is nonsense, and it's just closing the look. Let's go back real quick to what we wanted to talk about, and that's the newspaper. And with the newspaper,
sorry about that.
The newspapers need to be focusing on real news, which just like what we were talking about, like right now you've got in Georgia, they're talking about this voter bill, to make a more secure election. People are running around hollering that this. I do not know why it's Jim Crow 2.0 on steroids. Okay? No one's explained that. You know what I get to hear? I get to hear that no one wants to show voter ID, that suppresses votes somehow. And number 2, I get to hear you're not allowed to pass out food and water. Well, guess what? That's a lie. Poll workers can pass out food and water. It's people like myself who work for the Libertarians. It's for other people who work for Republicans, Democrats, or any other candidate. It's against the law and already that you can't pass out things like that.
It's just because
we don't have a news media actually reporting the truth. Okay, we get lies, and now me and you will sit here and debate something that we don't know nothing about. You follow what I'm saying?
Because the media, some media is good, but when the media doesn't tell the whole story or tells part of the story or tells it based on a political push of a certain side, you're getting fake, much more fake news, and you're going to get a liberal push or a conservative push depending on where you're at. It's just known. There is no fair and balanced. Fox News loves to say fair and balanced. Well, you can't say it's fair and balanced. It's a conservative network. CNN's a liberal network. CBS, NBC, liberal networks. Go through them. I mean, Newsmax, conservative.
Right.
Every other conservative. There's no independent. I don't know of any, especially on news, any independent RT. Maybe that's about as close to an independent.
No, you know where you're going to go independent? You're going to have to go on YouTube. And YouTube suppresses the independent journalists because if you listen to like Jimmy Dore, if you listen to Tim Pool, if you go to We Are Change,
Yep, I know what you're saying.
just go down there. That RT is just as much mainstream media as the other ones. The only difference with RT,
it's Russian.
Well, I don't care about it being Russian. They lean towards what's best for Russia, obviously, and in turn they're just no back. So if you really want independent free media, you got to go online. But then,
which is suppressing.
Twitter, Google will all suppress it.
Yep, suppression.
Yeah.
You want to talk about voter suppression? Talk about how independent voices get suppressed.
Yeah, you're not allowed to be in a debate. That's where your election fraud is. It's not. Yeah, everyone knows that for years and years, people have been stealing votes, trying to switch votes, doing whatever, removing votes. Everyone's for years since the beginning of the time. But you want to talk about voter fraud is when you have a candidate, Joe Jorgensen, who's on 50 states, and she's not allowed to be in the debate. She's not allowed to be talked about. Well, obviously, the media, the newsrooms do not want to speak about her.
The only news that was giving her any chance was Kennedy, and for a long time, Kennedy lost her show.
But let's be honest. Let's be honest. How many viewers does Kennedy get? She gets the same people like who would watch a video channel called Maximum Libertarian. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So in turn, I know a lot of times I preach to the choir here. Sadly, and I mean, hopefully people will see it and go, "Oh, well, I want to listen to them." But most
people just go click, turn the channel.
Right. But as long as you click the subscribe button or the notification bell, I do not care. And just hang out, maybe talk a little bit, put a comment in. But let's just go down here real quick. And if I was telling you the largest owners of the newspaper, the top 25 companies that own most newspapers control the fate of nearly 1/3 of all papers. That's up from 20% in 2004. This includes 2/3 of all dailies and almost 1/4 of all weeklies. The largest company is News Media Gatehouse, and it owns 451 newspapers in 34 states. I want to say that's who owns the Roanoke Times now, if I believe. Don't quote me on that.
Berkshire Hathaway is who owns out of Omaha, Nebraska, is who owns the Roanoke Times.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm wrong then.
They also own Geico, Duracell, Dairy Queen, Fruit of the Loom, Helzberg Diamonds, Long & Foster, Pampered Chef, Forrest, Pilot J Flying, part of Kraft and Heinz, the American Express, Coca-Cola, Bank of America, and Apple, as well as United Airlines, Delta Airlines, Southwest Airlines, and American Airlines.
Berkshire Hathaway is the Warren Buffett company, and he was really.
I thought I'd let you know.
Well, I think it's good to talk about that because, see, the old man, who I just said, what was that I just say his name?
Yeah, you did. Warren Buffett.
Warren Buffett, my God.
Not Jimmy Buffett. Not wasting away the margarita.
All right, so when he was anti the pipeline. And he was anti the pipeline only because it ran through like one of his train, like where his train thing was. So you might think he's a sweet old man, but he didn't become a billionaire by being a sweet old man. When he talks about how his secretary pays more in taxes than himself, he's the one that writes the contract where he gets like stock options and things of that nature. So he gets to pay less than his secretary. So let's just say Mr. Buffett is not a nice old man. But no, but that's about it though. But I guess we'll just finish it off with this story right here. And people, please, because since no one else is getting to report it, I know a couple other places. Russia is escalating the conflict in Ukraine. And let's just go down here real quick. And if everyone remembers, our dear leader, President Joe Biden, he went and threatened the Ukrainian, who was it, the Attorney General of Ukraine?
Yep.
And he told them that if they don't kick one guy out, then because they were investigating the company his boy works for, that, they're not getting money. And that was the exact same thing that they were saying that President Trump did. So why aren't we having a big show now? Because we actually had that stuff on tape. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Here's the other problem is like Russia. Okay. When did the Russia conflict actually calm down? Under what presidency? I mean, because he was not to give him any real good credit, but he was good diplomatic in talking to people, keeping conflict somewhat. Trump was keeping the conflict somewhat.
He still has now blood on his hands for no real reason. Like I would have never came into office. He did a lot of things. He didn't drain the swamp. He left the swamp. He needed to go in there and truly.
But we got a war hawk in there with Joe Biden who's going to create problems. Oh, there's not a doubt in my mind with that. It's already happening.
I know.
We've already had more Syrian strikes with missiles under his presidency than Donald Trump the whole time. So,
but as you can see here, ladies and gentlemen, Russia's building up troops. An estimated 4,000 troops have been dispatched to the border of Ukraine.
Big bunch of bullies.
Then of course this says NATO should brace for the worst. The problem is because of the way we're set up now globally, a lot of countries work with each other and they get a lot of their gasoline, natural gas from Russia. So they don't want to go to war with Russia because if they go to war with Russia, they don't get no gasoline. Or not gasoline, but
that gasoline gets a lot more, or gets a lot more expensive.
So we're going to have a lot of issues, just right there. I don't know, but since we don't have anyone reporting the news stories, I guess you could say, we are left to just, if you hear someone talk about it, you've got to remember and go do it. But what usually happens is someone will say, "Hey, do you know someone has a leaked nude picture or something like that?" And that's where they go, or they look up some nonsense. They don't really care about this, something that's actually going to affect their life. So yeah, I think
Russia's a bunch of big bullies. They've always been a bunch of big bullies, and they're just allowing them to do it.
Yeah.
Or Biden's allowing this to happen because Biden is causing a lot of problems. He'll continue to cause problems. We'll have so many stories to report on what Biden does to screw our country up. It's not even funny. And he's only a little over 100 days. So
sorry. No, but I don't think just Biden's going to do it. I think what's going to be doing is people are going to whisper in his ear, and he's going to just do it because I think he's an incompetent man.
I do too.
I'm shocked that anyone voted for him. There's absolutely no way you're telling me that 84 million people said that this is the best leader we have to vote for. But hey, who am I to say? We've got a candidate sitting right here online, Dean Davison. Let's bring his stuff up here. Doink. Please go to Facebook, Davison for Delegate.
It's Davison FOR Delegate in Facebook. It's different for I'll share that too, the web page. But if you go to Facebook.com, Davison for Delegate, spelled DAVISON FOR Delegate, that'll bring you to this page. Click like, follow along, and basically here I have at the top my ways to get donations. I've actually have a thing now that you can QR code to scan. Some people that I thank for their donation. Here's the QR code I was talking about. You can actually scan that and donate. I've talked about a three-way race, Easter, different events. We're going to try to do some stuff this weekend in Bedford. Holly Ward, our communications director, donate to me. So every time people donate, I shout out to them. There's a great picture of my campaign team. There's you, Brian, and Caesar, and Derek. Some great friends of mine, and great people to have on there. If you want to read about, what the Roanoke Times wrote about me there, I have you as my campaign manager, so that's there. You keep going down, different bills that were passed that we had problems with, different things I talk about. Some stuff about maximum libertarian. Yes, I love what we do. Just all different things you can read about and listen to on that site. And so that's that. And let me stop that screen real fast and go to this screen, which is going to be the website. So give me 1 second. Let me pull that up. And that's a little different, so you can see what that looks like for the people that are out there. So that should be up. And you go down, there's my platform: election reform, repeal red flag laws, remove restrictions on farmers, broadband on fire and EMS grounds, keeping taxes low. I'm all for the fair tax and stuff like that. So, and this is a district now. Unfortunately, I look at it probably as a fortunate thing. We have a Democrat now that jumped in, and that's going to give me an idea to blast both sides. Nobody can say in this race that I'm not going to pull against both candidates, against both parties, because now I have two parties that I have to contest with. Yes, usually it's good to have one. Statistically, libertarians do better when they only have to go against one. But I think this could be, in this district, if you get enough Democrats to vote, could pull down the Republicans, and the more people that you get to vote for, that I get votes from, will rise me up and give me probably a much better chance of actually pulling off victory. And Lacey Putney ran this for many years as an independent. We need to go back to the way we were. Independent, 19th district, Libertarian is an independent candidate outside the two-party system. It's a beautiful thing. And like I said, either or, I have things about me, about what I do, and you can donate to the campaign. Ken Armstrong, endorsed me. He was the presidential candidate. There's a video up there of him endorsing me. And then, of course, you see there it says Davison for delegate. You can actually get the Facebook page by going through the website. So, and I'm going to be working on that to spice it up a little bit more as we do things, get pictures during the campaign, and have events. You're just going to see all types of stuff there. And like I said, for people like Brian and Derek and my campaign team and the people that donated to me so far, it's awesome. I have much more people behind me and the constituents in the 19th. If you watch this, I would love you to watch this, because we talk about good things, and we have to be independent. We have to think our own. We keep allowing the people that are in there to continue to do what they're doing. We're just going to keep destroying our country and our state, and we'll never get ruled back from the Socialist Democratic Party run that we have right now. And it's even better is the fact that it's a governor race year, so it's going to bring more people out. That's going to be a good thing at the end of the day. So look for us on the road. Look for us in Bedford coming up. Look for us. I'm planning on doing something up in actually the Allegheny area. I have a guy actually up there in Allegheny now that we might be pushing to have an affiliate starting up there. That's some good news up there. Like I said, always pushing the party forward too. Never just about myself. It's not about me. It's about we. And that's how I always do it here. Like I said, just go to my site, my Twitter, just anything you want to know about me. You can ask me questions. You can email me. Go for it. I mean, I'm all for ears. I'm trying to make this place better. And if anything, the least thing we're going to get out of this is the promotion of the Libertarian Party and liberty. That's the least that we can get out of this campaign, which is really good. In the first place, we've already started generating more excitement and more people in the area. So the more we do, the better we are. And like I said, if we can be put in a position where we could beat one of the major parties in the election, that looks really good for the Libertarian Party also. So it's about the party, it's about the movement, and it's about my team, and lastly, it's about firstly, it's about the people in the area. But when it comes to, I'm the last person that it's not about me; it's about we, and that's the reason I ran. It's the reason I'm running, and it's the reason I continue to run. It's the reason we'll be on the ballot, because we got great people like yourself, Brian, and like other people that are helping the campaign out. and I have Democrats and Republicans also helping me out, collect signatures, and are going to vote for me. So it's a beautiful thing. It's all about connection with people. It's all about being a realistic and having a track record. The one thing that I can say with the Libertarian Party, even if they're not my district, is some people that are donating is because of what I've done as secretary of the party and the kind of leadership I've shown. They think I would be a great asset in Richmond, and that right there is humbling in a lot of ways. So it's good. It's something that excites me. So,
well, that's good to hear. And once again, there's all this information. Please go there, like his Facebook page, his Twitter page, and if you want to throw him a couple bucks, please do so. And
you know
for
what?
us,
Eventually, we're just gonna have to get Brian to run for council here, so we can get him out there and we gotta run his campaign or something. Let him run for council and beat down some of these idiots in the city.
Right. Well, maybe one day. So please, if you've made it this far, please go down below, click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, follow us on. There you go.
And share.
Correct. Smash the like button, share the video, follow us on Twitter. We are MaxLib. And until tomorrow, I'm Brian.
I'm Dean.
And we'll see you later. Goodbye.